Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Gold Coin. I know I always say that I'm so excited to be with you again, and I definitely am. I really am excited because this is a different kind of podcast. Usually, I have a topic that I talk about and I give a lot of my personal experience, and I wanted to get somebody else's perspective this time. I really think that it's important that you know that I'm open to a lot of different perspectives. And I did talk about the last time in one of my trauma series about a perspective of somebody who saw a statue that inspired me. It really offended her. So I really like to explore the different ways that people think about weight loss and the different things that they go through, because I know there's somebody out there that's going to relate, and I really hope that it'll help you. So today I have the beautiful Devana with me, and she's gonna share a little bit about herself as well. And she is not only a daughter to me, her dad is my husband, but she's also a very, very good friend and probably one of my best friends. And I'm just so blessed to know her, not just as a daughter, but as a friend. And we share a lot of our lives with each other and our weight loss success, our weight loss, the things that we go through, the struggles, the fears, and all of that. So she's going to share some of the things because she was sharing with me, and I go, wow, people really need to know that it's okay to feel what you're going through, but just maybe not to stay there. So we're going to talk about all of that today. So I'm going to hand it over to Devana. Go ahead, introduce yourself and share some things with us today.
Well, hello, my name is Devana, Devana Burgos, as Kathy said. And yes, me and Kathy, it's always good to see her and hang out with her. And we have really great conversations, intellectual, emotional, that's around almost every topic. And definitely, as she has struggled with weight loss and I have struggled with weight loss, obviously that's going to be a conversation, multiple conversations that we have had.
Yes.
Including, me just disclosing what specific struggles I struggle with, and trying to achieve a healthy weight that I'm happy with. So I am a mother of three. I am single. I currently live in a different state in Washington, D.C. I am a licensed attorney. I have just started my journey of working as an attorney. So very exciting, but slow time given the coronavirus. But I'm happy where I am overall. I am not happy. I'm very dissatisfied with my health and my weight specifically. And so I've been talking about this with Kathy for a while, and just wanting to achieve a healthy weight and what prevents me from doing so, whether that's fear, whether that's consistency, you know, and how to just kind of stick it out once you're doing it. Because I've tried many times to lose weight, and I probably achieved some weight loss, but I never stuck with it, or I would stick with it and then come back, or maybe I didn't really stick with it. I just had the intention. I have a lot of good intentions, and I go back buy lots of good healthy foods, and then I look at it and say I really don't want to eat that. So just I have many different struggles that I deal with in trying to achieve the ideal weight, as I'm sure a lot of other people do, because I know a lot of friends that I have also struggle with their weight, whether they are 10 pounds overweight. Sometimes they don't even look like they're that overweight compared to me. So, but we all have our body struggles, and trying to achieve the ideal weight is definitely something that I know a lot of people can relate to. So I'm just going to be sharing and hoping that you can give me some advice and stuff that has worked for you. I think would be good, and I'll just be really honest and transparent with you about what I'm going through.
So before I ask you some questions, one thing I could say is that no matter what size you've been or what size I've been, you've always been very positive. You've always had a very different outlook than me about body image. I've always really, really struggled with my body image. And you always, I notice, would say, like, hey, you know what, but I love me. I do love my body. It might be a little bit bigger than I want it to be, but you always maintained that. And I really think that comes from deep within, because I know for me, I could not say that. But hearing you say that actually would make me feel a little encouraged and feel like I could go on, because even though I didn't feel positive about myself at a bigger size or even a smaller size, when I would hear you say that, but I love me, but I know I want to be healthier. And that was always a positive that you always have maintained, and I always appreciated that. So let's talk about the F word.
Fat or
or fear. Or no.
fear.
So, yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
Let's talk about it a little bit. What is it, with you? How do you, when fear and weight loss, usually people may not think of that the two to go together, but how does it affect you? You tell me about it.
Well, in my journey, and I can speak for where I am right now, and that is, I fear trying and failing. I have tried things that haven't worked. So there is definitely a fear. It's not like I'm scared of like Freddy Krueger or something, but it's like everybody has a sense of fear of failing, and I think that it's the big monster in the room or hovering over my house.
Yeah, right.
Like, yeah, you're not gonna do it. I always feel defeated, even though I started thinking about it positively. Like, I'm gonna try to do it, and then, or I want to start, or I have started, and you mess up, and it's like, you knew you was gonna mess up. It's just, it's, I don't know if it's a psychological fear, and it kind of keeps me from sometimes taking the step to be healthy. Or if I do take a step, it prevents me from actually following through and remaining consistent with it, because you fear you're going to fail. Or it's going to come out the same exact way that it has all the other times. And it's just like you get discouraged, And so not exactly sure how to conquer that besides just doing it like Nike. But I know that I definitely struggle with that fear. I might not say it out loud, but I'm telling you guys right now. I'd be like, oh, okay. I mean, I am very positive about being happy with yourself regardless. But definitely want to be in a better place. So hoping that I can figure out a way to conquer this fear,
Right. One of the things that I wanted you to give your perspective on is being a mother and having your children with you and looking up to you and modeling after you. How does that affect you? And also then we'll talk a little bit about being a career woman, and having to juggle motherhood, career, single, by yourself, and just the different things that you go through. It's a lot to put on someone's plate, and maybe you could share a little bit about that.
So dealing with my kids more so, is that what the first part of the question was? Like, it's hard, but it's not that hard as I would think it would be. But it's hard because I have real negative and bad habits in terms of eating from my childhood, and just because I like to eat what I like to eat when I want to eat it. That's a whole nother part of it. So I think that I'm obviously not passing down great habits in that regard. However, I'm very inclined and educated on what is healthy. I read labels. I don't totally like just eat every processed thing that comes my way. So I'm very much educated in regards to eating healthy. We eat a lot of vegetables. My children, they love vegetables and fruits. We drink mostly water. We don't buy sodas and juices and stuff like that. So I believe that they have a lot of better habits than I do. That's what I will say, because as they were younger, I knew I wanted them to eat better.
That's awesome.
But I still struggle myself with things I want to eat and then they're right there, so they're still seeing like, ooh, mom, let me get some for chicken. I want some of that fried chicken again. So I mean, that part, and eating habits are okay. Hanging out and doing stuff. I mean, I'm overweight, so that probably isn't the best thing. But now that they're older, I don't really have to run around and play with them too much, so it's not that
It's a
bad.
little different dynamic, right?
Yeah. In regards to being a single mother and
Like juggling it all and
yeah,
then having to do like self-care because you're putting other people first, a lot of other things first before yourself because you have to.
yeah, I
It's a
do.
necessity.
Yeah, I do, and I have been doing it for a while, and my weight definitely has suffered because of that. Whether it's I have to choose to eat something that is not the most healthiest because it's more convenient, or I'm just burnt out mentally, emotionally from whatever's going on in my life.
Right.
Then I kind of will eat according to that, like emotional eating. I definitely think there's emotional eating going on. So I think the stress of life and being a mother definitely takes its toll in regards to my eating habits as well. So it definitely is a struggle. And I always think of that. I'm making it bigger when I'm thinking about, oh, I need to get in shape. It's like, well, what you gonna
Right.
cook the kids? And, you start creating the fear.
The
Oh.
monster's getting bigger and bigger. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I see, I noticed one mother had said, I have kids in all these sports and different things in school. So she's basically like parading everybody around. And at the end of the night, they kind of just go through the fast food thing. And it's not that she didn't want to cook a meal or anything like that, but society and the way everything's set up in our society, it's like by schedules and it's like she's trying to make if you have 4 kids or 3 kids you're trying to get everybody everywhere and then
It's
just
more convenient.
take them through and get them a burger and call it a night
Yep.
and I believe that scheduling too that's I can that's why I wanted to hear your perspective on it because I know that's real for a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I do a lot of cooking on Sundays because I'm trying to like manage my week. So if I could do like meal prep, which is ideal, then that would be good. On like one day of the week, that way it makes it easier for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
But still, that's a lot of time talking about meal prepper for you and your kids. But I'm willing to do it.
And if they have different tastes
exactly.
and allergies and you never know some today
Well, not my kids. Forget
to-
that. We all eating this.
right. See
Well,
now
no, Reese do got her stuff going on.
can we talk about that a little bit because I've had a lot of mothers tell me, well, they're not going to eat, and I was raised where either you eat what's on the plate or you don't eat. But I know that maybe had not have been the most ethical way to raise your child, but that's how I was raised. So I ate what was ever put in front of me, or I starved. So
I agree with that, but I will say that my kids are older, so they could be like, "No, I don't want that." I
Right.
can't force them to eat it.
Yeah.
They'll just make something else. Or my daughter will even say, "Well, I'm not eating."
yeah,
Hey, that's your choice. But I do believe if I'm going to be trying to get healthy, as long as my diet isn't too extreme, then we should be able to all eat this without a problem.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely for us all eating together the same thing.
right,
Or you could not eat. Could take off tonight.
right. You can fast tonight.
Well, there you go.
I really love it tonight because we were having dinner and I made eggs and then how old Omari's 8 years old and he's like, I'll make eggs. Like he, so he ate like what they ate and he ate with me too. So we all kind of shared our food. And so, and it's just powerful for me to see a mother with 3 children and a career and juggling all of this to even want to say, you know what, I'm going to take reign of my health. I'm going to say, you know what? Yeah, I'm happy with me. I love me. I love where I'm at in my station in life, but I know there's probably something better. And like you said, the big monster in the room, I always say I was afraid of success.
And it's all about perspective, right? Because I'm thinking about fear of failure.
Yeah, but it's almost a mirror at the
Yeah.
same thing.
It reminds me of the glass is half full, though. I'm thinking of it in the negative sense, though. You're thinking of it, I'm scared to succeed. But I think that's actually a better way to have a better perspective, at least compared to I'm scared to fail.
Right, but I do hear a lot of people say, I want to start, but I have failed so many times. And I'm tired of that. It's so defeating. There's so much going on in this world, so much going on with us as a person. We're juggling so many things at one time. How do you get past it? And that's something that, I really wanted you to, talk a little bit about your feelings as far as, where you want to go from this point. What do you see you doing, or what steps that you would like to maybe take?
I would definitely, ultimate goal is to get to a nice healthy way where I'm healthy, and where I feel comfortable. Like I feel good when I get dressed.
Yeah.
I want to be at that place. I'm overall happy, but I'm not healthy for sure. And I'm not talking about like the BMI, the doctor. I don't want to get that thin, but I just know I'm overweight and such that it does affect a lot of things, So I would like to see me lose some weight. I don't know what that number is. I can throw a 50 pounds out there. I might get to something like that and be like, you know what, I'm okay with that. I think I just want to be healthy and feel comfortable in my own skin. And I'm willing to try again at losing weight. I'm willing to make the necessary changes. I'm willing to do a lot. I just wonder if I'm going to actually be able to stick to it.
What do you think would be your top 2 things that would really help you in that? Other than having a catered, meal brought to your house every day.
For free.
Yeah, for free.
Or very low price.
Right.
What would help me? I know that accountability would help me.
Because accountability can it's a form of support too as well.
Exactly.
Right?
I need the support. I feel like I need someone to call when I want to have that burger and I'm driving down the street. And my impulses and my self-gratification is like, let's get the burger. I need the burger. And I need to be like, no, Devonna, you don't need the burger. But sometimes I can't talk myself out of it.
I think we had a conversation about talking somebody off the ledge type of thing.
Exactly. And I'm always on the ledge. I thought about it that day we were talking about it. I think when I brought it up is because I feel like I'm on the ledge. And if I could just have somebody like reach out to me, then it would kind of help reel me back in. I'm not exactly sure what that would look like because I've had people like, no, don't eat that. But it's a different type of support that I think you need at different times.
Yeah.
And I don't need somebody saying, no, you don't need that burger, right? Like, I don't know. That doesn't really help. It's kind of like,
it hits different.
Tell me what to do.
It hits different. It hits different. Yeah, for sure.
I would like some definitely, I think accountability, which will come in the form of support and just like, have you done it? Like someone, if someone's expecting me or if I'm supposed to be doing something, then I feel like, this will work. I think I'm more like a deadline person just from being in school. It's due at this time, so it's accountability in that sense. So,
that sounds good.
So I think that may be why that might be good for me. I think staying encouraged, figuring out a way to stay motivated because one day I want to do it and 3 days later it's like, I'll just eat the tamale. I'll just eat the chicken.
Right.
So I don't know if that's going to be like visual stuff. I was thinking about that a little earlier. Like I'm a person that likes to do to-do lists. Maybe like, how we were doing you were doing, I wasn't consistent in the sticky note challenge.
Oh yeah.
I think that was a good idea because that's good affirmations. And then if it's written down and I see it, I'm always being reminded, you're trying to be healthy. We're going to be doing this, maybe even writing a diary. I'm not exactly sure. I think so many different things could help, but, will I be able to actually stick to it is what
Yeah.
usually happens. I'm not consistent.
Right. There, real quick, before I talk about some of the things that I want to give you some suggestions on
Yeah,
doing,
please.
we had a conversation, I forgot what holiday it was, and we were talking about different people in the media who have a lot of influence, maybe famous. And remember, and one of them, there was like a famous fitness person who kind of criticized an artist who is a little bit, larger, but she's like, hey, I exercise, I eat right, I feel good. And we were having this discussion about it. And I remember, do you remember we were talking about it?
Yeah, we're not going to
And
give her no airtime, but yeah.
yeah, we're not going to say who
Yeah, I'm
any
not
of
going
these
to say her
people
name, but I
are.
know exactly what you're talking about.
And I remember I was like, there's no way in God's green earth that when someone's fat, they're happy. And I'm basing it on me, though. And I remember you were like, wait a minute. Remember, you were like, I don't know about that. And you were bringing a different perspective to it.
Yeah.
Because then you even said, well, that's probably how you felt, but that's not, right?
Yeah, I think there might be some truth to what you're saying too, that they're not completely happy, but I definitely feel like you can be happy and overweight. Like I'm happy. I'm
Right.
and it's really about how you feel on the inside. And so, yeah, you may not totally agree with all your cellulite, but you can still walk out in your bathing suit and feel good because we all have to get in a pool, instead of covering up, So I do believe that you could
Confidence factor.
Yeah, and I think it's honestly, I think it's very important for us to be happy in some form or fashion before you even start losing weight, because you're going to be seeking out this happiness in the way you look.
Right.
And what if when does it end? When do you achieve it? Is it like a special number? I don't think there's a number that's going to be like, oh, I'm happy, I love myself all of a sudden. It has to be like a process. It has to be something that you already do.
Right.
Even though I may not like all of my cellulite, I try to enhance my assets and diminish my bad areas. But you definitely can be happy. And
I really agree with that, because I thought about it, and you're right. There's not a special number. There's not a special gene size, because I've achieved, like, surpassed all of my goals almost. I still have one. Everybody's like, stop, but it's okay. But it's true. I really had to find the happiness within and not on the outward of how I looked, because we're all here temporarily, and we're fading away as we breathe. We're getting older, and I know it sounds so morbid, but one of the things that she made me think about with the whole celebrity thing, and people saying, hey, I'm happy and fat, and and I just realized when I was younger, I felt kind of the same way sometimes. And it wasn't until I started getting older and my body kind of started breaking down underneath that weight. And then I realized, like, say I know somebody who's 200 pounds and I'm 150 pounds. I was carrying around a 200-pound person on top of me. And after so many years, my body started breaking down. And I was like physically, burnt, and mentally, and the whole thing. But early on, it wasn't like that. I had the strength, and I had I could go walking, and I would go to London, go to New York, and I was 350 pounds and I was still doing it. But, as I aged, it was like, oh, maybe I won't, because it was just too difficult physically, not just mentally and emotionally, but physically too. So
I agree, because I feel like as I've gotten older, I've put on more weight little by little, and it's harder to lose it. And our body is, we're, like you said, we're temporary. So I feel like it's becoming harder and harder for me to carry this weight, whether it's my feet are aching or other unsaid things. But I definitely feel like as I'm getting older,
we're very open and transparent.
I'm less
you
satisfied.
You want to say it, you can say it.
I mean, it affects a lot of different things. I definitely think that is more of a reason why I'm becoming a little. I'm just that much more dissatisfied. Like, I've got to do something, and I'm gonna feel like if I don't do something now, it's just gonna be that much harder. And people always used to say that when I was younger. You better lose it now
I
before
know.
you get too
Yes.
old, because it's harder to lose it. And they was not lying. Y'all's out there, right? Y'all told me
Now
that.
we're telling everybody, you better do it now. No.
So I mean, no better time than now.
I would say, I think, like you said, fear of failure, fear of success, it's like the yin and the yang. And one thing that I could say, and that has helped me, is grit. I always say that it's grit,
You can say that.
But one thing I could say is that I had to change my perspective and kind of coming from a negative standpoint for many, many years. I just had a negative, especially on my body image and what I could do and what I could achieve. I had to start thinking of taking care of myself as an investment in me. I almost had to say, this is a gift that I'm going to give you because I love you so much. Now, coming from a person who didn't love themselves and didn't have self-care, obviously, because just going and getting a pedicure in your nails and your hair, it goes a lot deeper than that.
Can only go so far.
Right. It's more than a spa day. Self-love and self-care is, like she said, it's in the inside, and it's mentally, it's emotionally, and I didn't have that for years and years and years, and I always gave myself to other people, and I was always last, and not because of them, but I always put myself last because I didn't think I was worth it. I didn't think of it at the time.
Yeah.
So now it's almost like I have to give myself a gift every day. And that gift is health. And that gift is maybe eating a little bit less. That gift is, okay, I really, really want that lemon cake that somebody made today.
We won't say no names.
We won't say no names.
But you watch it.
Yeah, but I'm going to eat my bananas and my peanut butter. Or maybe I'll have a small slice that'll fit in my macros and my exercise plan. Because I don't believe that you should have to, go crazy and extreme. We talked about that earlier too. Like, I don't, because I feel like I'm punishing myself if I say, well, you can't eat that and you can't eat that. That's a bad food.
It definitely does. I don't know why
it does.
Feels so restrictive. Like,
and if you
makes you want to rebel. Like, I can't have it.
Right. And if I feel like I'm punishing myself, I won't do it.
Yeah.
I won't. And so, and that's something that I've had to learn to say, Kathy, this is for you. This is from you to you. And I really love you. And I love you so much that I'm going to give you this gift. I know you're not used to it, but you're going to thank me later.
That exactly, like you were saying, I feel like that is you making a choice to love you every meal, every day. Like,
yeah.
And that's the part
breath.
and that perspective is, I was thinking of it the opposite way and have been, which is I love myself, so I'm going to eat what I want. I'm going to eat it. Like, I deserve it. It's a treat. But is it really good for me? It's not really benefiting. All it is satisfying my,
taste buds.
Like, immediately. And sometimes it's not even the taste buds. It is, but it's...
That's true.
Sometimes I scarf it down so fast, I don't even know if I tasted it.
I know.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely think, like, just the whole idea of perspective, I think that's a good perspective, and I'm starting to try to look at it that way. If I can look at it that way, I think that would definitely be an ongoing way that would really help me eat healthy and stay healthy. Because I'm doing it for myself.
And it's definitely one day at a time. I could definitely say that for sure. It's one day at a time, for sure. And it's something that it didn't come natural to me. I didn't have parents that were like, carrots and, celery. No, they were like tortillas, beans, that
some
kind of
boiled cabbage. That was so boiled. No vitamins.
But we're going to make this a part 2. Because I want to be able to have this on Instagram, and I'm usually limited to 30 minutes. But we're gonna finish this off with some other positive affirmations in some different ways. And I know you probably really enjoyed hearing from Devonna. She's very authentic and very genuine, and it comes across in such a beautiful way. And I believe that her positivity is gonna supersede any thoughts of failure and just like she was able to achieve, you know, with her children and also being a lawyer, like, whoa, that's amazing, you know. So we're going to finish this on a part 2, and we will see you in a little while.